Welcome to Manager's EDU. Today, I will teach you interest and its calculation. This is a series of financial education, so I will teach you with complete detail and explanation. So, let's get started. What is interest? Interest is the cost of borrowing money or the reward for lending it or saving it. For example, you have money and you lend it through an institution or save it in a bank. After some time, when you want to take your money back, the bank also gives you some excess amount. That excess amount is the cost for the borrower or the institution, and it is a reward for you as the lender. That is the definition of interest. How can we calculate interest? There are two types of interest calculation methods. The first is simple interest calculation, and the second is compound interest calculation. The compound interest calculation can be done in several ways, depending on the agreement between the lender and borrower. Compounding can be done yearly, semi-yearly, quarterly, monthly, daily, or continuously. Let's understand simple interest first. Simple interest is interest that is applied only on the principal amount over all the periods, which could be years. For example, suppose I have money in a bank for 4 years, amounting to $100 from 2025 to 2029. The interest is applied each year, 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029. The interest rate is 10% per annum. My principal amount is $100. The interest on the principal amount is $10. So the total amount at the end of 2026 is $110. For the year 2027, my previous balance was $110, but the interest is still calculated only on the principal amount of $100, which is $10. So the total becomes $120. For the year 2028, my amount is $120, and the interest on the principal amount is again $10. So the total becomes $130. For the final year, 2029, my previous amount is $130, and the interest on the principal amount is $10. So at the end of 2029, I have a total of $140. In simple interest, the interest is applied only on the principal amount. The graph of simple interest is linear. Now let's understand compound interest. Compound interest can be defined as interest on the principal amount plus interest on the interest from each period. In other words, interest is calculated on the total amount of the previous period. Let's use the same data as in the simple interest example. If we apply compound interest on it for the first year 2026, the total amount will be principal, $100, plus interest on the previous amount, which is $10. So total amount equals $110. For the second year, 2027, the interest is applied on the previous year's total of $110, which equals $11. So the total becomes $121. For the year 2028, we have a principal amount of $121. Interest on that is $12.10, or $12.1. So the total becomes $133.10, or $133.1. For the final year, 2029, we have a principal amount of $133.01. Interest on that is $13.31, or $13.31. So the total amount with compound interest becomes $146.41, or $146.41. To summarize, simple interest is applied only on the principal amount, while compound interest is applied on the principal amount plus the accumulated interest from previous periods. The graph of simple interest is linear, while the graph of compound interest is exponential. Now let's look at the formulas. The formula for simple interest is simple interest amount equals principal amount multiplied by open bracket 1 plus rate of interest multiplied by time, close bracket. The formula for compound interest is compound interest amount equals principal amount multiplied by open bracket 1 plus rate of interest divided by number of compounding periods per year, close bracket, raised to the power of number of compounding periods per year multiplied by time period in years. Now let's learn simple interest calculation with an example. Suppose we have the following data. Principal amount is $12,000. Interest rate is 8% per annum. Time is 6 years. First, let's put the data into the formula. P equals to $12,000. R equals to 8%. T equals 6 years. Convert the percentage to a number. 8% equals 0.08. Multiply this interest rate by time. 0.08 multiplied by 6 equals 0.48. Then add 1. 1 plus 0.48 equals 1.48. Now multiply this factor by the principal amount. $12,000 multiplied by 1.48 equals $17,760. So, after 6 years, the total amount, including simple interest, is $17,760. Now, let's calculate compound interest. The formula for compound interest, as we already discussed, is compound interest amount equals principal amount multiplied by open bracket 1 plus rate of interest divided by number of compounding periods per year, close bracket, raised to the power of number of compounding periods per year multiplied by time in years. If compounding is yearly, it means the interest rate is applied fully once a year. So the number of compounding periods per year, which we call n, equals 1. If compounding is semi-yearly, it means the interest is applied twice a year, but each time with half the annual interest rate. So n equals 2. If compounding is quarterly, it means the interest is applied 4 times a year, but each time with 1/4 of the annual interest rate, so n equals 4. If compounding is monthly, it means the interest is applied 12 times a year, but each time with 1/12 of the annual interest rate, so n equals 12. If compounding is daily, it means the interest is applied 365 times a year, but each time with 1 to 365th of the annual interest rate. So n equals 365. There is also continuous compounding, where interest is applied continuously. The formula for continuous compounding is continuous compound interest amount equals principal amount multiplied by Euler's number raised to the power of interest rate multiplied by time in years. Now let's calculate compound interest quarterly with the given data. Principal amount is $12,000. Interest rate is 8% per annum. Time is 6 years. Number of compounding periods per year, n, equals 4. Let's put the data in the formula. P equals $12,000. R equals 8%. T equals 6 years. N equals 4. First, convert percentage to a number. 8% equals 0.08. Next, calculate the power. N times time equals 4 times 6 equals 24. Next, divide the interest rate by n. 0.08 divided by 4 equals 0.02. Then add 1. 1 plus 0.02 equals 1.02. Now raise 1.02 to the power of 24. That equals approximately 1.60844. This is called the compounding interest factor. Then multiply this factor by the principal amount. $12,000 multiplied by 1.60844 equals $19,301.28. That is the final answer for compound interest calculated quarterly. Now, I have a question for you. Calculate the same data monthly and write your answer in the comments section. If it is wrong, I will correct it. If it is correct, I will appreciate it. This was all about the interest calculation lecture. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below. Thanks for watching.